Welcome back to the channel Coin Dealer. Today we're talking about a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that could turn into a life-changing fortune, the 2012 1-cent penny from the USA that's been making headlines and creating buzz among collectors for being worth a staggering $634 million due to extraordinary and highly unusual errors that set it apart from every ordinary penny you've ever handled. And while at first glance it might look like just another coin you'd find rattling around in your pocket change, the truth is that this particular specimen carries a series of remarkable mistakes and mint mark anomalies that have elevated its value far beyond its humble 1-cent face value, and the incredible part is that most people wouldn't even notice the differences unless they knew exactly what to look for. So let's unpack what makes this coin so legendary, starting with the fact that 2012 pennies were struck at multiple facilities including the Philadelphia and Denver mints, but in this rare case an experimental die or misplaced mint mark created a hybrid error where the coin shows characteristics of multiple mint origins at once, a situation so rare that it's almost mythical in numismatic circles. And what's even more fascinating is that the errors on this coin aren't just limited to the mint mark itself but extend to striking issues such as double die obverse where the lettering in God We Trust and Liberty appears with visible doubling under magnification. Planchette flaws where the metal blank may have been improperly mixed or laminated causing unusual textures or missing copper layers, and even possible off-center striking where the design isn't perfectly aligned within the coin's rim, all of which dramatically amplify collector interest. And when you combine these errors with the pristine, possibly even proof-like condition of this coin, it becomes clear why experts and wealthy collectors have driven its value into the hundreds of millions. Because in numismatics, value is not just about age or metal content, it's about rarity, uniqueness, and the story the coin tells, and the story here is almost unbelievable, as some numismatic historians suggest this penny might have been the result of a test strike for a special set, accidentally released into circulation instead of being destroyed, making it essentially one of a kind. And if you think about how coins are mass-produced in the billions each year, the odds of such an error surviving and escaping quality control are astronomically low, which is why demand has skyrocketed, and the $634 million valuation, while shocking, reflects the intense bidding wars among elite collectors who see owning this coin as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because beyond its tangible rarity it's also a conversation piece, a slice of minting history, and an artifact that combines modern minting technology with human error in a way that might never happen again. And another layer to its mystique is that 2012 marked a period of transition in US coin production with subtle design refinements and cost-cutting measures that sometimes led to unintended consequences. So this penny sits right at that crossroads, and experts speculate there could be additional microscopic details like die cracks, repunch dates, or unique luster patterns caused by unusual striking pressure that further authenticate its status as a freak occurrence in coinage. And for the average person hearing that a penny can be worth hundreds of millions, the first instinct is disbelief, but the high-end numismatic market has seen similar phenomena before, such as the 1933 Double Eagle gold coin that sold for over $18 million, proving that the combination of rarity, demand, and an intriguing backstory can propel even the smallest denominations to astronomical heights. And imagine the thrill of discovering such a penny in a jar of change, not realizing you're holding enough money to buy a private island or multiple luxury estates, which is why stories like this ignite treasure hunting excitement among collectors and everyday people alike, prompting many to recheck their own loose change for unusual dates, mint marks, and errors. And while the chances of finding the exact $634 million specimen are almost zero, the possibility fuels a passion that keeps the coin collecting hobby alive and thriving. And the moral here is that attention to detail pays off, because a tiny imperfection to the naked eye can mean perfection in the eyes of a collector willing to pay fortunes for uniqueness. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who just stumbled on this video out of curiosity, the saga of the 2012 1-cent penny serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hide extraordinary secrets, and sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest value, not just in dollars but in the thrill of discovery and the history they carry in their worn, shiny, or flawed surfaces. And as incredible as it sounds, the legacy of this coin will likely continue to grow, inspiring future generations to look closer, learn more, and never underestimate what might be hiding in plain sight right there in the palm of your hand. One of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of coin collecting, because today we are talking about a tiny piece of copper, a humble-looking USA 1-cent penny, that in one extraordinary case has been valued at a staggering $60 million. Yes, you heard that right, $60 million for a single penny. And what makes this story even more captivating is that the massive leap from its face value of just 1 cent to such a fortune isn't due to any gold plating or embedded diamonds, but because of a rare and almost mythical combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and historical quirks that have turned it into the ultimate prize for collectors. Now, before you think this is some urban legend or overhyped auction gimmick, understand that in the numismatic world, which is the official term for coin collecting and study, mistakes are like hidden treasures. Because coins are supposed to be produced to exact specifications, with the same design, same strike, same mint mark and same date across thousands or millions of pieces, but every so often, the machinery malfunctions, the dies get misaligned, the wrong planchet slips into the press, or a mint worker makes a subtle marking mistake, and when that happens, the result is a coin that is unlike any other, and in the world of collectors, rarity plus demand equals astronomical value. So this $60 million penny is believed to be a 2000D Lincoln cent with a spectacular combination of errors, starting with a mint mark anomaly, the little d here beneath the date that normally indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, but in this mysterious coin, the mint mark appears misaligned or punched in an unusual way, possibly even using a leftover punch from a previous year's die, which already raises eyebrows among experts. Then there's the possibility of a double die strike, where the coin was accidentally struck twice by the dies, creating a ghost-like doubled image on certain features such as the lettering in Liberty or the numbers in the date, which serious collectors instantly recognize as a major rarity factor. And to add to the intrigue, there are whispers that the planchet, which is the blank piece of metal used to make the coin, might not even be the standard copper-plated zinc used in 2000 but a leftover composition from an earlier era, such as the bronze alloy used before 1982, which could have been sitting in storage and accidentally fed into the press, creating an unintentional throwback. Now when you pile on these errors, the coin becomes something of a freak of nature in the best possible way, because not only is it unique in physical features, but it also represents a once-in-a-lifetime minting event, and collectors are willing to pay massive sums for such one-of-a-kind artifacts. But why 60 million, you might ask? And that's where the laws of supply and demand meet the feverish psychology of high-end collectors, because with coins this rare, there isn't really a fixed price chart. Instead, the value is determined by what the most passionate and wealthy collector is willing to pay to own the ultimate bragging right, and in the case of this penny, the price skyrocketed after word spread that it might be the only known example with this exact cocktail of minting mistakes, authenticated by top grading services and locked away in pristine condition. Its value pushed higher by a perfect storm of rarity, condition, provenance and collector hype. And while most of us will never stumble upon something so extraordinary, the idea that such a life-changing fortune could be sitting unnoticed in a handful of loose change is what keeps treasure hunters, metal detector hobbyists and casual coin checkers buzzing with hope, because the United States Mint, despite its precision, has had its share of slip-ups over the decades, and each one creates the potential for a hidden jackpot. So when you see a penny with a weird date, a misplaced mint mark, a doubled image, or unusual metal color, it's always worth taking a closer look, and even if it doesn't turn out to be worth millions, it might still fetch hundreds or thousands depending on its error type and rarity. But the legend of this $60 million $2,000 penny stands as the ultimate reminder that sometimes value isn't about what something is supposed to be, but about how different it turned out. And that in the right hands, even the smallest mistake can become history's most valuable copper treasure. So next time you're about to toss your spare change into a jar, maybe pause for a second, because who knows, you might be holding the next record-breaking minting marvel and the key to a story that could turn a simple cent into a small fortune. The world of coin collecting, where a seemingly ordinary 1994 1-cent penny from the United States, something you might find rolling around in the bottom of your pocket or hiding between your couch cushions, could actually be worth an unbelievable $311 million. Yes, you heard that right, and today we're going to unravel the details, the history, and the unique combination of errors and mysteries that turned this tiny copper-plated zinc coin into a treasure of legendary proportions. So get ready, because this is not just about spare change, it's about how a tiny minting mistake, a rare set of circumstances, and the sharp eyes of collectors can transform something with a face value of 1 cent into a once-in-a-lifetime fortune. Now, the 1994 penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, as indicated by its the mint mark. And by all accounts, the vast majority of these coins are perfectly normal and worth no more than a cent, but there exists an ultra-rare Variation so elusive that only a whisper of its existence circulates among the numismatic elite, a version that owes its astronomical value to a cascade of minting errors, including but not limited to misaligned dies, double striking, incorrect planchets, off-center stamping, and perhaps most intriguingly, a mint mark error that suggests the coin may have been altered, replaced, or misplaced in the production chain in ways that defy normal quality control procedures. The story begins with the fundamental understanding that errors at the US Mint are rare, and significant errors even rarer, because the Mint employs strict precision measures to avoid them. But when something slips through, especially in the high-speed, high-pressure environment of the mid-1990s coin production, the results can be spectacular. For example, a die clash can leave ghostly outlines of design elements on the wrong side of the coin, while a double die can create a strange shadow-like duplication of letters or numbers that the naked eye can detect if you look closely enough. And when you combine such anomalies with a misplaced mint mark, perhaps punched manually in an incorrect location or using an incorrect font or alignment before the mint shifted to more automated systems, you have the beginnings of a rarity that could drive collectors into a frenzy. Now, the specific 1994 D penny in question is believed to have been struck on a planchette intended for a completely different denomination or metal composition, meaning the weight, thickness, or alloy ratio may differ from the standard copper-plated zinc of post-1982 pennies, and when such a hybrid coin leaves the mint, its uniqueness skyrockets because no two error coins are truly identical. Collectors value them not only for their oddity but for the story they tell about the fallibility of even the most precise industrial processes. Over the years, stories of this particular penny have grown almost mythical, with some claiming it has passed through multiple private collections, each time fetching a higher price, until its latest rumored valuation reached that mind-bending $311 million, a figure not just tied to rarity but also to the intense competition among ultra-wealthy collectors who view owning such a piece as both a status symbol and a tangible investment. And while many might scoff at the idea that a penny could fetch such a price, the numismatic world has repeatedly shown that the right combination of rarity, condition, provenance, and desirability can drive prices to levels that seem absurd to outsiders. Consider that the penny's face value is 1 cent, meaning its collectible value is more than 31 billion times higher than what's stamped on its surface, a multiplier so extreme that it underscores how little face value has to do with collector worth. What's especially fascinating is that the penny's error combination is unlikely ever to be replicated because minting technology has evolved. Quality control has tightened, and the specific quirks of the Denver Mint's 1994 production run are unique to that time, leading experts to believe that this is not just one of the most valuable pennies in existence but perhaps one of the most valuable coins of any denomination in modern history. And beyond the physical characteristics, there's the psychological allure, the idea that somewhere in circulation, or perhaps forgotten in a jar of change, there could be other extreme rarities waiting to be discovered, fueling the dreams of casual hobbyists and seasoned collectors alike. So while the odds of finding another like this are astronomically low, the possibility alone keeps the hunt alive, and that's part of the magic of coin collecting, where history, chance, and human curiosity collide in the most unexpected ways. And when it comes to the 1994 D penny valued at $311 million, we're looking at the perfect storm of rarity, error, and legend, a small disc of metal that has transcended its intended role as currency to become a symbol of how the smallest objects can carry the greatest stories, making it not just a collectible but a piece of American numismatic folklore that will be talked about for generations.